Good morning. Finally got things up and running. Good morning, Josh. Alright, it's looking good. Interesting day in the market today. Low volume. Except for tech. I'm pretty good. It's 4:13 p.m. where I'm at now, so getting into that afternoon tiredness, but otherwise I'm pretty good. Long morning of work. Editing YouTube videos. Right now I'm editing a strategy lesson and the next stock wheel challenge video, number 3, when things start to really kick up. The last two were roughly break even. This next one is what was the final result, like a 20% win on the day. So it'll be, I think this, I forget what stock it was. Yeah, that'll be a good one. How about you? How's your morning so far? I haven't seen the too many of the people in here who used to watch who traded cryptocurrencies, but today's a pretty big day with Tesla's announcement that they will be accepting Dogecoin for payment finally. Not on cars yet. Only for, I didn't read into it too much, but it looks like it's only for merchandise, clothing and apparel and whatnot. Maybe if they release their tequila again, they'll sell that for Dogecoin as well. What was their last thing? It was a something that was designed off of the Cybertruck. Get it, what it was. Feeling blessed? I'm happy about that. I'm happy to hear that. How did your trade end up yesterday? Added my watch list. I sent it in the Discord, by the way, those of you who are interested. AMC is also moving a lot today. I wish this move was happening in January when I start that small account challenge, because this is the perfect stock to trade for that. In January last year, or the beginning of this year, excuse me, was pretty interesting for it, January 28th. I was kind of hoping for that, but it looks like the move is happening now, or at least in the other direction. Down, what, 15% yesterday, down 11% this morning, something like that. I might have flipped those two numbers. Yeah. Pretty big move. GameStop is also following, down 14% yesterday, down 5.5% today. The market overall is down nearly 1% today, which the gap down days we've had over the past month haven't been too good to trade. So we'll see. It's been pretty choppy because people are overall quite bullish, but like I was saying yesterday, that you can expect quite a bit of selling off leading into the end of the year. Every December you see this trend. Except for 2020, but that was a completely different situation. Yeah, December 2019 had a little pullback, then recovered. It's not like guaranteed December 1st to like December 31st will be lower than December 1st. It's nothing like that, but you will see more red days as hedge funds and institutional traders load off some positions to pay taxes on them, or take a loss on this year to reduce their taxes and then get into the position next year. All right, I believe that is it for my watch list. Yeah. Sold out at 918 before it went back down. Nice. So that was, what was your entry? Your entry was, let me check, 910. So you pretty much sold break even. Hey, Joseph. Yeah, accounts are bleeding. It's December, like I was just talking about. Some selling off, mark to market stuff. Down, what, market's down 0.89% right now. It's good for trading though, because there's some good volatility. Stocks like Tesla, Nvidia. I posted my watch list in the Discord if you saw. AMC, GME. There's a penny stock, GRTX, moving. Dogecoin is moving. So a lot of things. Peloton is also moving. It's down 6.5%. Volume wasn't too great, but it's making a big move, and so we'll see if volume comes in during the opening candles. Yeah, it looks like volume is picking up already. So a lot of these stocks are generally pretty good to trade. So should be a decent day. Maybe like yesterday. Yesterday was what, 11.2 R on the day? I'm expecting something around there. Something around there. Yeah, 11.2. 3 trades on 11.2. That's not bad. About to sell and buy back lower? No, if you're holding long-term positions, don't bother. Lost 200 in Nvidia in the last 48 hours. Why did you buy Nvidia? 48 hours. I'm assuming you mean 24 hours because you couldn't have purchased it on Sunday. So I'm assuming you mean the last 2 days. Well, welcome. Yeah, should you take a long AMC? I am contemplating that idea. It is down, yeah, 15% yesterday, down 12% now today at around 20. Let me switch over to the chart so we can start looking at things. Oops. Need to connect it. Talking about it for a while. Oh, you had a typo. Long put. When you said long, I was thinking you meant long, but you mean a long duration of time on a put, is what I'm assuming. And that's why you say down to 5. Yeah, that's... I mean, should have done it when this wedge broke down. So this is... I remember we talked about this one. This massive wedge broke, pulled back, retested, and then broke down. It was a great setup. Entry at 36 whole number. Stop over 38. And this is when we were talking target was 30 and then 20, and it's hitting that 20 target. Anybody in the right mind would have just sold their puts at 30 when they were up 1,000%. But options only go to January. Yeah, that's a full year. I'm assuming you mean January 2023, not January 2022. Let me see. Joseph, what are you saying? Yes, today and Monday. Okay, so the past 2 days, you've lost 200 in Nvidia. I need to look at the chart and see why you bought Nvidia yesterday. Were you just trying to catch a dip? Trying to catch a falling knife? I don't remember there being any setup that said it was going to move up. Let's see. I can get puts until January 19th, 2024. You can see here on the right side of my screen. Yeah, so that's fine. That's a little over 2 years. That's plenty long. Any longer than that, and they'd just be ridiculously overpriced. Joseph, I understand it's unrealized. I'm saying why you entered originally. I'm curious what signal you took, what told you to purchase NVIDIA. What said, oh, this came down, very bearish, rejected all-time high. There's a double top that we looked at on the 4-hour chart last week. They were talking about this coming down, breaking under 300. So yesterday, on Friday, this tests 300, holds above it just barely at the close, and then yesterday it completely plows through 300. You didn't buy yesterday. How did you not buy yesterday and you've been holding it for Monday and Tuesday? You couldn't have bought it on Sunday. Didn't buy yesterday. When did you buy? Oh, in potential profit. That's not what unrealized means. Unrealized means that it is in your account. You purchased it. You have it. And you haven't closed the position yet. Unrealized doesn't mean an unopened position. It means you have an opened position that you have not closed yet to secure your profits. I see what you're saying. When you said you've lost 200, that means you lost 200. And unrealized means that you have an open position. I get what you're saying though. You wanted to take this short, I'm assuming. You didn't enter your position. You would have made $200 in profit. So you missed out $200 in potential profit. Yeah, I missed out on like $10 million in potential profit on this one. I could have taken a personal loan out and highly leveraged it, put all of my credit cards into it, and purchased put options to scale in 100-to-1 leverage. Could have made $10 million if only I knew exactly what it would do. Pick up on the sarcasm of tracking your potential profits. Don't worry about it. You didn't. There's no such thing as missing out on potential profit in the market, unless it was a setup that fits your strategy, fits your trading structure. Everything about it, you should have taken it, and you did not take it for whatever reason. Then you missed that because it was in your system. But if this was just, oh, I see this came down, what, 30 points in the past 48 hours, the past 2 trading days, really 24 hours, then, I mean, yeah, there's plenty of moves in the market like that, where if only I could go back 24 hours, I would have made a ton of money. If only I could go back to when I was holding AMC and GME calls before the second spike happened, my $2,000 would have been worth $250,000 if I held on for 30 more minutes. Literally, I sold 30 minutes before the close because it was on a Thursday, a Wednesday or a Thursday, and my options were expiring that Friday. So I decided I didn't want to hold it for another night. I couldn't afford to lose, and this was an issue where I was trading money I couldn't afford to lose. So my mentality was saying, no, I can't hold on to this position. Got out of it. 30 minutes later at the market close, they spike up. Would have been $250,000. If only I could go back in time. Yeah, exactly. Whale's done the exact same thing. I mean, that's a big thing about mentality. When you just sit on the sidelines and watch, that could either be your thermometer being too cold and you're too nervous to get into a trade, too hesitant for some reason, or it's too hot and you're being a little reckless in avoiding trades because when something's too hot, like touching a hot stove, you burned yourself. And so you don't touch the hot stove again. You're not going to touch the market that day again. And you just watch these perfectly good moves go away because you went from too cold to too hot and crossed over from one extreme to the other. Morning, Anno. All right. Dogecoin down to 19 cents. Okay, so it's pulling back quite a bit. It's not making a massive run. It went up to 22 cents. We'll see what it does. To me, what this confirms is that Elon wasn't completely bullshitting the idea that Tesla would prioritize Dogecoin over other cryptocurrencies when they pulled out of Bitcoin and they said, oh, we don't like how bad this is for the environment. It's bad for our name. And they sold their position. They made like 20% on it though, still, which was pretty cool, on over $1 billion. What else do we have? We have Peloton making a decent move. Volume coming in. We'll see if that one. A lot of OBDs are possible today. A lot. So if everything sets up, don't chase all of them. Like I have GME and AMC on the watch list. AMC is the main mover. However, historically, GME is the main mover, so I have them both. But right now, it looks like AMC is the main move. So that's normally the one I would prioritize. Or Ford and Tesla are two separate moves. Yeah, everything else is mostly separate. Nvidia and Tesla might trade a little bit similar because they're both in the S&P 500 in the tech sector, somewhat. Tesla is often it often trades with the FANG stocks. If you have any other stocks that you want me to look at, please let me know. What do we have in here? Looks like AMC is at a potential SR level. 20 whole number. Is that where it's at? 2060 currently. But yeah, 2027 at the bottom. 20 whole number should be a bit of SR. I remember from way back here, before the initial jump happened, 20 was a big breakout point. There's a 1 hour wedge here. I'm not going to zoom all the way in on it, but on the like 27th, 28th, what was that? Yeah. It was also the rejection of the initial move, the top of the January 28th move. $20.60 was a hammer high. Where? Hammer high 2060. Are you talking about this hammer? That's 2036 I have on my chart. 2060. Or do you mean pre-market? Either way, I would, at this point, now that it already made that breakdown of that daily wedge, I get what you're saying. This chart's not loading right now, but oh, that's why market opened. Come on. I would have a bullish sentiment in that one. Let me refresh really quick. There you go, 2036. All right. My computer's been struggling a little bit with the streams running the past couple of days. I don't know why. I haven't added anything. It was fine streaming. Maybe it's YouTube streaming. Because I was fine streaming on this computer for the past year without any issues. But right now I can't load this web page. Let's see, what brokers do you all use? Half of you use Thinkorswim. Is Thinkorswim having any issues? Usually on big gap down days, these brokers do have issues, but I haven't had a single issue at the open with Webull yet. So this is interesting. Let me see. AMC's jumping up. Yeah, I would look for that one to form somewhat of a bullish pennant or a bullish flag. Let me check if anybody else is having issues with Webull. Or any of you having issues with your brokers. No, nobody's having issues with Webull. AMC forming a bit of a 1 minute reversal pattern. We'll see what that does. Yeah, nobody's having issues with Webull, just me. So it's a client side thing. TOS, no issue? Okay. Yes, this is just on my end. No idea why. Maybe I can quit some software. I don't want to have to restart Google Chrome if I can avoid it. Don't have many tabs open. Okay, I got one chart working. Let's see if I change it to the 1 minute if it messes it up. Yeah, shouldn't have done that. Everything else is working. I can trade off of just level 2. This is like one of the challenges you guys wanted me to do, is trading without the charts. We'll just do that challenge now. Oh, here we go. All right, GRTX, this is the penny stock that's gapping up over 100%. Really, we just want to see in moves like this, if it starts going crazy. I'm not going to take this on a regular OBO pattern because there's just so much going on in pre-market and so much volume that I'd like to see this over high of pre-market. But penny stocks and small caps haven't had very many massive pump and dumps lately. This doesn't look like right. Where's the pre-market data? Oh, I'm in Dogecoin. Yeah, GME, AMC both pulled back a bit, now coming back down. Board pulled back, large wick, so not a very clean OBD. Same with Nvidia, it did trigger and it came down, but large wicks. Even if you scrunch the chart, it still doesn't look too good. Tesla looks a little bit better. Pretty big stop. Yeah, you see all of them did form a bit of an OBD pattern, but then SPY is bringing them up a bit. We'll see. Tesla can separate itself, maybe. It didn't have the bottom wick, which is good. So the low of day that it had to break under to confirm the OBD. Was cleaner. Peloton would have been pretty good. The stop wouldn't have been great, but the entry would have been okay. Did not trigger. What is AMC doing? Sideways. 80 GI. This had a decent OBD. Down 73% though. This one is on bad news. This is a therapeutics company. Something, their treatment doesn't work on Omicron or something. So this OBD is pretty nice. Very tight stop. Probably would wait for the break of 9-hole number for the entry instead of low of day. It's a personal preference thing though. In a stock, I usually don't personally trade these setups in stocks under $10 because of that. You get a lot of moves that are around whole numbers. Being 5 cents away from a whole number is a gray area where it is far enough away from the whole number that you could actually get a move to the whole number and make profits. Instead of if you're 5 cents away from a whole number in a $200 stock, let's say, you would want to wait for the break of that whole number. Because it's so close it could fake you out. But in this case, it's far enough away that it actually has to make a pretty decent move to get there.
Felt on recovering. Might get a lot of gap fills, honestly. This is the issue that we had 2 weeks ago when SPY was gapping down. It was a gap down day, bearish sentiment overall, bearish sentiment on the 1 hour, the 4 hour, downtrending, and then gap fill. So what that does is it pretty much kills all momentum, because once the gap fills, it's still bearish on the daily, it's still bearish on the 4 hour, the 1 hour, but intraday it's bullish. So do you expect the reciprocal move? It's 50-50. And we don't trade for 50-50. 51.49, that's a completely different story, but 50-50 is no bueno. Nvidia has mostly filled its gap. GME has filled its gap and is positive on the day. Dogecoin coming back up a little bit. GRTX, this one came up to 316, 391 is the high. So, not close. Let's see if this screener has anything else. Volume. Beyond is up 6% and it is on my gap down screener. That doesn't make sense. It is not on my gap down screener, it's gap up. Okay, Beyond. That's on the watch list, is it not? No, that was on yesterday's watch list. No, it is on the watch list. Did it not get added? It did not get added. Let's check out Beyond. See if there's anything there. OBD or OBO. Stop would have been... I like the entry at 66 whole number. The high of this candle is right at that whole number. I like that. Stop under the bodies. And then target. First target 67 whole number, of course. But let's check the larger time frames and see if there's anything else. Something's going on at 68.50. Actually, quite a bit at 68.50. And 67. So 67 and 68.50. And then 70. Okay. So 67, 68.50. And then we'll see if it can get up to 70. Either way, that's a 1 hour trade. Just over 1 hour. 1.1. I can't get the number. Alright, 66.99. We'll stick with that. SPY is still working. It has closed more than 50% of its gap now. See that over my head. Oh yeah, I need to like this live stream. You all should do the same while it's live. Helps boost the algorithm a bit so other people can find this. We could start getting some random people. I did some research into YouTube versus Twitch from some bigger streamers. They did an analysis on this. And despite the YouTube algorithm being helpful for YouTube videos, getting a bunch of random viewers to find you, as far as live streams go, because it only will show 2 to 3 live feeds for any search result, this research resulted in, at least what I understand, that and what these bigger streamers were saying is that Twitch is actually better for small streams, because you go to a category and you could see all 50 people streaming that category, scroll all the way down, which still doesn't seem optimal, right? If there's 2 people, no, not back to Twitch, I'll explain why. But if there's, like on Twitch, if there's 2 people in stocks and bonds category, you'll get somebody with 1,000 views and somebody with 500 views, and then a bunch of people with 20 views, and then a bunch of people with 10, and a bunch of people with 1 and 0. Everybody who is trying to learn about stock trading is going to look up live stock trading, get taken to Twitch's website, category stocks and bonds, right? And click on the first one, because it's the most viewers. When you have 1 or 2 streams with over 500 viewers, and then everything else is 20 or below, roughly. Of course, there's a few in there that are on the 100, but you get the point I'm trying to make. Everybody's going to go where the whole crowd is watching, because that must be the most trustworthy in an industry like this. Everything is about trust. It's this huge balancing act of trust. Is you need to put yourself out there and elevate your statements and make your life seem better than it actually is to attract people, but then you can't go too far in that direction, because then you lose trust. Nvidia closed this gap, by the way, and is breaking out of this bullish pennant for the reciprocal move. Yesterday's close was 281.61. So this bullish pennant was a rejection of yesterday's close, and is making that reciprocal move. So I could see Whale trading that one. But no, Joseph, not back to Twitch, because on the other hand, with YouTube, pretty much live streaming is difficult to grow compared to static videos. That's why you could see a YouTube video with 1 million views, but you don't see a live stream with 1 million concurrent viewers. The most is XQCOW, who averages like 100,000 each day. And he's like the king of Twitch, right? That's the peak. What's the peak on a YouTube video that's been published and uploaded? I don't know. What is the most viewed video on YouTube now? I feel like it changed recently. Oh, it's the baby shark video, of course. 9.5 billion views. You'll never see 9.5 billion concurrent viewers on a live stream, because that is impossible. Unless there is some planet with a bunch of life forms that use twitch.tv and the internet and can connect with out millions of years of latency, then that's impossible. So I think I'm going to stick with YouTube, at least for a little bit longer, because it does genuinely help boost the YouTube videos a little bit. Now, I still don't know the issue of posting a YouTube video and live streaming on the same day. That apparently conflicts with each other, because that's 2 uploads going up on the same day. And some people post multiple videos on the same day, but they're usually like clips channels that are 30-second videos that people are watching really quick. Uploading a 3-hour-long live stream and a 15-minute video apparently doesn't work very well. I'll test it out one of these days, but I'm nervous to test it out because every video takes a lot of effort, and there's a lot riding on it currently. What I'm trying to accomplish is getting monetized, becoming a YouTube partner as fast as possible. Because once that happens, then that gives a budget to then hire an editor, have other people working on the YouTube videos, so that that can expand greatly, and I can focus more on the course material, the written course material, the video course material. All right, Beyond did not stop out. It did hit target, first target, and then come down to break even. So I know a lot of you trade a similar style to me and would have stopped out at break even to avoid taking a loss on the remaining shares. Those of you who are an all or nothing trader, you might be waiting for 68.50, which was the SR level on the daily chart and the 4-hour chart. You'll still be holding on to that one. So yeah, Joseph, that's usually what people do is you stream on Twitch and then you upload, you download your VOD and then upload it to YouTube. But the act of me being live right now on YouTube and you watching this, there's currently, it says 5 viewers, which I'm confused because it says there's 5 viewers, but there's only you. You're the only one who's counted as a participant because you're the only one chatting. So it removes the viewers who are not chatting, which is interesting. And I don't know how it counts that for watch time, but this is adding to the watch time requirement for YouTube partnership. YouTube partnership requires 4,000 hours of watch time in the past 365 days. And with all the videos that I've been uploading that you've been watching and all the views that those are getting, we're at about 250 hours of watch time. So 250 out of 4,000. It's only 6%. Each video on average gets about, well, it depends. Some videos are getting significantly more, which is the nature of YouTube. But the average video gets around 2 hours of watch time for the lifetime of the video. People are watching an average of 2 to 3 minutes, getting an average of a couple hundred views on the higher end, 40 to 50 views on the lower end. So that would be, at the current watch rate without live streaming, it'll take 2.5 years to get partnered, which is a little bit too long. So live streaming helps. Because then when you first get partnered, the videos with the views that they're getting and the watch time that they're getting would probably get around $50 to $60 a month, which is nothing crazy, but that would hopefully continue to scale up pretty fast. And within a couple of months of being partnered, let's say gets up to $300 a month. That's $300 a month to pay an editor for, maybe, depending on the situation, if it's some college kid trying to build a resume, pay him for like $20 an hour or something. Maybe get like 6 videos out of that. 6 videos a month, more than 1 a week, being edited would be a huge help. And then the YouTube stuff would be self-sufficient at that point. I don't need to make any more than that off of YouTube to pull a genuine income. The income comes from Inlight. But making the YouTube stuff self-sufficient would help the rest of it grow. Yeah, exactly. That's the key. All about the like button. Could hire your brother. What does your brother do? Mike, Joshua, if you two are both still in here, I'm curious if you've taken any trades. Joshua, I know you usually will just watch. We talked about this yesterday. You'll just watch one stock. I'm curious what that stock is for you today. I bet Whale is watching Tesla. Let's see what Tesla's doing, actually. No. Kind of forming a bit of a wedge. Nothing today. Out of all these stocks, you didn't... Yeah, I don't blame you. 80 GI hit target at 850, by the way. So that was a very clean OBD. 55 cent target, 21 cent stop. That's smart then. Not trading today. Partying on a Monday night. That's living the life. I see why you came into this stream saying that you just feel extremely grateful. But definitely smart if your mindset is not 100% to risk your money. Dogecoin is still going sideways. Beyond nearly hit 68.50 before that big red candle, but it did not. Came down and tested entry as a strong support level. AMC and GME both made their moves upward. Like I said, bullish bias on this for the day, since it's come down so much and bounced off of 20 whole number. Didn't give the best pattern, but you could have taken any of these breakouts. Probably this one over 22 whole number would have been my favorite. 22 whole number to the gap fill, and then holding through this gap fill as well. Up to around 23 whole number, and then up to 24, 25, and eventually 30. We'll see. 30 by Friday by the time options expire, maybe. Nano, elaborate on hiring your brother. What kind of experience does he have? Because I mean, that'd be, I'd love to support a student's family member over some random person on Upwork. Especially if he's good. And if he knows you, which I'm assuming he does, he might know a little bit about trading. Yeah, he doesn't need any crazy resume, but does he have video editing experience? Even if he hasn't worked for any companies before. Is he an editor, I guess is the point. Not just some random person who could pick it up and learn it. Because there's plenty of people who already know how, who would be better options than somebody learning from scratch. Because my goal is, my style of editing is very cinematic. I'm much better with the vlogs and that style. But I would like to find somebody who's better than me at the, what would you call it? Not like infographic, but like the pop-ups and the new age YouTube informational video with lots of stuff zooming around, things popping up on the screen. That style of editing. The style of editing that it's not too difficult, but you have to have a creative eye for it. You haven't seen him do it, but he said he's good at it. Well, feel free to send me a message and we can chat a bit more about it if you want. Does he have any videos that he has edited? Even if he doesn't have a resume, a portfolio would be useful. Any gaming content that he's edited, possibly. I know that's where a lot of people start, like gaming montages. Who remembers the old Call of Duty montage days on YouTube? What year was that? Where that was like most of what was on YouTube? 2009, 2010? When did yeah, 2009 was when Modern Warfare 2 came out, and that really, yeah, so 2009, 2010, the turn of that year. Look at this tweezer bottom and beyond, the low of this move. Pretty nice trend channel upward. Those of you who missed the initial breakout, it still might set up for something else here with this trend channel. There's that. All right, Nano, I appreciate it. I mean, I'd love to support your family, so we'll see. Joseph, are you working today? Of course, Nano, it's my pleasure. You are? Big day in 2 days, huh? Life is going to change dramatically. Yeah. One more day, then getting ready from... You're cutting it close. To start getting ready. And then January, you'll have another big change. Adding another income stream to your wallet. Haven't packed anything yet. When do you have to get out? Are you hiring movers? That would make things quite a bit easier. If you have to get out on Thursday, then waiting until tomorrow to start packing. I've done it. I don't recommend it. I do not recommend packing for a big move the day before. I tried that when I moved out of Arizona. Took a lot longer than expected because we didn't have that much stuff, but it still took all day. You'll do it all? Yeah. I had the same mentality. And I regret it every time. Every time I look at the price of hiring movers and then I debate, I could just do this myself, right? Save some money. And then every time I regret it. Every time. But that's... No, that last move wasn't... It was... Well, I guess it was the most stuff I've ever had to move. Took 3 trips with a U-Haul. 2 trips. I actually had to move big furniture. But most of my moves consist of, when I was renting furnished apartments, was just packing up my little Mazda 3 to the brim. I couldn't see out of any window or any mirror. Could not see anything. And then unpacking it all because I couldn't fit things, and then repacking it again and doing that 3 times until it finally would fit. One of the times my battery died because I took so long rearranging things and the lights and stuff were on. My hazards were on, so my car didn't get pulled over. Not pulled over. I guess it wouldn't have necessarily gotten towed because I was there, but there was a period where I was up in my apartment arranging things. Anyways, battery died. Finally got everything the way it should be, the way it all fit. As the battery dies, and I realized that my cables to jumpstart it are at the bottom of everything. So I had to do it all again to jumpstart the car. That was a fun day. That move, even though I moved a block away, I couldn't get into my new apartment that day. I had to wait 2 days. So I had to leave everything in my car for 48 hours until I could move in. So I just had my life in my car for 48 hours. That was fun. I did the math because I was curious. I've thrown numbers out there to people, like kind of estimating, and I've counted before, but I always lose track. I did the math. Ever since I moved out, where is this? Ever since I moved out, I have lived in 21 different living situations. Not all of those are like packing up and moving. Some of those are packing up other people's stuff and moving them into my apartment. But it's a few more than I would like. I will definitely consider slowing down, and with that in mind, I'm moving again in a week. That's why I'm trying to stream on YouTube here as much as I can. I don't know how the internet will be at the next house. It seems to be very spotty. Some days it's okay, some days it's non-existent, so we'll see. The live streams might not be a thing anymore. I might try to do something if the live streams don't work. I'll try like audio only on Discord or something like that. Where are you moving to? Actually, I forget what state you live in. Let me dig in my memory files. I don't remember where you live. But you should have participated. I was putting together, what was it, 2 weeks ago? I'm actually still organizing it, but there was a vote and everybody voted on the West Coast to try and put together a house of traders. Of like 4 or 5 of us. Students, non-students, professional traders, beginner traders, to give this cool environment for people to learn and grow and save money on rent by living in a really cool place. Imagine like all these traders who are trading with, I mean, not like $1 million accounts, smaller accounts, being able to live this luxury life. Everybody voted West Coast for that. But I still prefer trading on the East Coast. West Coast time trading was brutal. It wasn't that bad in terms of waking up early. I actually enjoy working early in the morning, usually. I kind of lost that habit over the past year because of streaming early in the morning. I kind of lost my love for working in the morning because, not that I don't like streaming, but I used to stream for 5 hours? Giving a essentially 5-hour conversation / lecture every single morning at 6 a.m. was tiresome. Yeah, I don't like trading in the morning. Trading in the afternoon is okay. Trading at 9:30 East Coast time is okay because I like my routine used to be wake up at 4:30, go to the gym, be back by attempting to reconnect. I don't know why the stream just cut out, but that's annoying for YouTube, isn't it? That means, did we lose it or did it? I don't know. It looks like it's still one stream, one continuous video, hopefully. Richmond, Virginia. We'll see. I have one thing, well, I don't have anything really lined up. West Coast would be LA, yeah, probably. It would probably be Los Angeles. I like San Diego more than LA, but LA just has more going on. So it's much easier to organize things in LA. It's also easier to get more people together in LA. And it's also a bit cheaper because there's a lot more available. It's not significantly cheaper. It's still one of the most expensive cities in the country. But San Diego, there's nothing available at all. I think anything bigger than 4 bedrooms I saw was like $60,000 a month. Yeah, and I mean, kind of, but it's really not. It is if you stick with that perspective, and I was that way. But the more I learned to respect LA, it's not that bad. It's a cool city. Some areas are really cool. There are definitely some, as you put it, cringy parts to it. Some parts of LA culture that I personally don't feel like I would fit in with. But it's a really big city. A really big city, and every neighborhood is extremely unique. So as long as you find yourself in the right neighborhood, it's not too bad. And if you're renting out a 5-bedroom mansion on the hill, the idea is you're not really, I mean, you're close enough to people, but you're not like in the city. So you don't have to worry about all of that. But Joe, I appreciate your offer. That would make your mentorship quite interesting. It'd be the most one-on-one mentorship I've given to date. The closest to that, I have done mentorships where we would meet regularly in person. I've done in-person mentorships in Chicago and in New York City, in Manhattan. Not, I shouldn't say regularly, but a couple times throughout the course of their mentorship. I would like fly in to the cities for mixed reasons, and one of the reasons being mentorship sessions. Those were fun days. I was at the beginning of all of this. The beginning of before Inlight Trading was called Inlight Trading. When the mentorship was just under my name. There was no business behind it. The other thing, Nano, about Los Angeles and the West Coast, well, on you saying LA is cringe, of all the cities on the West Coast, San Francisco would be kind of cool, but not. It's also much more expensive than Los Angeles in terms of living anywhere you'd really want to live. If you're living with the younger population, not the family homes. If you're living where there's apartment buildings and in condo buildings, it's much more expensive. And it also, you don't get the nice weather. I don't know. I've considered San Francisco. But with Los Angeles, you get warm weather, beaches, and a lot to do. A lot of great restaurants, a lot of good food. Las Vegas is also an option. It's much cheaper. The internet is much faster in Vegas than LA. LA is notorious for having bad internet. It's one issue for trading, especially. I haven't lived in LA and purchased my own internet there, so I don't know how bad it is. I've only been on Wi-Fi there, had Airbnbs. The internet I had in San Diego was pretty good. So if it's anything like that, it should be fine. I think a lot of people who have issues with the internet in Los Angeles are doing like gaming competitions, and those servers are, there are West Coast servers, but a lot of the West Coast servers, I don't know. Either they're on West Coast servers, or the competition that they're in, they are connected to a central server or East Coast server. And that's what causes most of the issues. All right, Dogecoin is coming down now. This beyond trend channel, I've been watching it. We're kind of hovering, making a smaller trend channel within this bigger one. I'm still watching the bigger one. Would like to see some sort of a trend channel continuation play. We kind of got that here. There's actually a trend channel continuation in this. Let me draw it with a different colored line. Let's do these purple lines. Let's make them solid. Stand out as much. Okay, I'll delete these in a second, but these purple lines, stop, entry, target. For a trend channel continuation, you have the trend channel that formed once it tested twice. So after it tested this upper level, this upper trend line, that formed the trend channel. And then because it's an upward trending channel, you're looking for a continuation. You would look for a bounce off of the lower trend channel line. So you got that bounce here. You didn't get a very clean reversal candle, but you did get a reversal off of a whole number and off of a support level where the entry for the other trade was at 66 whole number, which is good. What'd the volume look like? Yeah, it wasn't a clean reversal, but that's not what you really look for as much in a trend channel continuation play. It definitely adds points to it if it is a reversal with a decelerating bodies and volume off of an SR level, confirmation, all of that. But we did get the confirmation. We did get it off of the SR level. So we got 2 out of 4 of the criteria for a reversal. It's not terrible. You go long over the reversal candle, which this didn't really have. That's the 4th criteria. But you would treat this last candle as that reversal candle. So over the high of this previous candle, as it broke a previous candle high, stop under the low of this tweezer bottom at 66, and then your target would be the previous high, the previous time that it tested the upper channel line, which is up here at 68. It would probably put this just under that previous high at 68 whole number, so that you get out on the test of a whole number. You wouldn't want it to have your level up at 68.08 and it rejects 68 whole number and you miss it by 8 cents because of that value. That's a 1.6, 1.7 R trade. These purple lines, that's not terrible for a trend channel continuation. But yeah, Los Angeles has a lot of things going on. So if you're looking to build a life, there's a lot of options there, which is good for the in-light education. Overall, from my perspective, growing the in-light education, which is around well-being and wellness and all the other areas of life, including financial well-being. Los Angeles obviously has a lot of that going for it already. So finding potential investors, finding employees to work for the company, all of that makes sense to be over there. Everything except for the timing. Having to trade in the wee hours of the morning. I'm not seeing anything else. SPY came back down, didn't fully close its gap actually, just reversed back down and is now testing its lows. Interesting. Let's check the gap downs. 80 GI, massive move. Good OBD in that one. Ford is finally breaking low of day with a bit of a wedge. I could see Whale trading this one. I think he might have fallen asleep though. But I could see Whale trading this one. I could also see Blair trading this one. From the Discord. Graduated student of mine. Haven't taught him in a little while because he's just been killing it making profits. What did I say yesterday? I need to stop teaching people so well because then they disappear. and just kill it and make a ton of money. See, that's the thing with trading education that I find is interesting. I do expand trading education to investing education, and like the 0 to 1 trading course gets into a little bit of investing stuff in, what is it going to be, season 4 or 5? A little bit of investing stuff and also personal financial management. I have a personal finance calculator, budgeting tools, and financial planning and all that for mentorship students who need that. So I do try to expand a little bit, but for the most part with trading education, once somebody learns how to trade, the rest of it is just experience. It's just doing the thing. Now, some people do really well having a mentor as an accountability partner, and if they can afford it and that gets them more profit that then pays for the mentorship, then it's totally worth it. But others, they just, who are trading maybe with a smaller account and it doesn't really justify the price as easily, they just kind of disappear, do their thing. That's why I look forward to Inlight teaching other areas, because once you master the trading, then you master the personal finance, and then what do you do with all this money? Well, you need to learn how to implement that money into other areas of life, to pay for education in other things, to pay for a vocation, a passion, a purpose, a mission for you to work on every day, funding a business or funding something, to pay for stretching your budget, going on vacations and doing these luxury things, doing these things that make you happy. It doesn't have to necessarily be luxury. Affording a house, a car, a relationship, learning how to manage relationships, or how to manage not being in a relationship, or manage friendships, or manage your close circle, your tribe, all those things. Once Inlight teaches all of that, then it's great, because students can stay students for longer. Whereas right now, the curriculum of trading only goes so far. I mean, you can always squeeze a little bit more out of your trading, always. Like I was saying, it's mostly through experience. Like, you can get 80% of the way there, and then the law of diminishing return kicks in, and your slope is more horizontal than it is vertical, and it starts taking a lot of time. A lot of traders will get to that 80% level, and it varies, but the average that I see is 3 to 6 weeks. And what I classify as 80% mastery in trading is making consistent profits and growing your account and pulling profits out of your account as an income. Consistently. Not like 2 days you did well, but week after week after week, month after month after month. Most people get to that level in 3 to 6 months. Maybe they'll find consistency, like they'll get to that level in 3 months and then have 3 months of trading consistently before they really know that they're at that level to confirm it. But then after that, there's the extra 20% that you squeeze out is something like if you trade stocks, you can learn options, like what Whale is doing currently to get more profits out of his trades and implement more short trades for stocks without shares available to borrow, for example. You can learn new strategies. Let's say you finding consistency is a result of 3 strategies that you trade and that you've gotten really good at trading. Anything beyond that, you could then learn and trade more things, or remove some strategies because you're watching too much. I had a student who ran into that issue where he would master these strategies, do really well, and then every time he mastered a strategy, instead of just trading that strategy, he would fall into this habit of like, okay, all right, I mastered the strategy, I'm good to go, I'll talk to you in a couple weeks, in a month, and we'll catch back up. But then a couple weeks later, we catch back up, and he's lost his consistency. Why? Because he thought he mastered the strategy, so then he picked up another strategy, and that threw his balance off. He was no longer consistent because as soon as he found consistency, he changed the paradigm of his trading. He changed his structure, his base. And so now all of a sudden, everything's changed. It's like learning it all over again. Kind of. It's like learning how to squat with shoes versus barefoot. Like the form is the same, but the feeling is different, and so you have to kind of you have to go through a process of relearning things. The muscle memory is slightly off, or with your heels elevated versus not elevated, or if you play soccer, learning how to play futsal. Very similar. You're kicking a ball around, but the futsal ball is bigger, much harder, different material. It's a fuzzy material instead of like a rubbery material, rubbery canvasy material. I don't know how you describe the outside of a soccer ball. It is usually on a hardwood surface indoor. Futsal's like scalping. And yeah, definitely. That's my favorite sport I've ever played, was futsal competitions. I played competitive futsal. I was a goalkeeper, but I was also a striker traditionally in soccer, before I ran into a bunch of, no pun intended, ran into a bunch of issues with my knees, one in particular. Then I moved to being a goalkeeper because I still wanted to play. I still wanted to be on the pitch. So as a goalkeeper, I ended up being better than the team's normal goalkeeper, who was like a foot taller than me. And they're like, oh, wow, okay, well, you're good, so you'll stay. So I stayed as a goalkeeper for a while. When I played futsal was during that period where I was a goalkeeper, but I still had all the skills and the mindset and everything of being a striker, a forward. So what I would do is whenever I saved a goal in a way that I would catch the ball and retain it, and my team wasn't available to do anything, I would just dribble the ball up and score. Futsal goalkeeping is very unique. Regular goalkeeping, one of the teams I played for when I was playing like international, we would travel from state to state, and we were one of the best teams in the country. I think we won like I think the furthest we got was winning a tournament in the Midwest or something. But I think that the team actually continued on, but I couldn't play because we couldn't afford to fly out to Los Angeles and play in the next game or something like that. With that team, I would probably have 1 to 2 shots on me that I would save. I played with a team that was much worse than that, practically no defense, where I would save. I would have like 12 shots on me and I'd save 10 of them. And of course they're looking at me like, oh, you let 2 goals in, but I'd save 10 out of 12 of the shots. So that was pretty intense. But then futsal is on a whole different level. I would have 40 on average, like 35 to 40 was the average shots on me per game in futsal. Now that's not going to be for every team and every person's experience, but the style of futsal in the region I was playing, it was about 35 to 40 shots on goal on me. But I would save all of them. I was actually a pretty good futsal goalkeeper as well, because I'm a very physical goalkeeper. I'm not passive at all. I'm extremely physical. I've broken all of my fingers from having my hands get fully kicked in, from grabbing the ball before the striker could shoot it. I've had my head kicked instead of the ball. I was out for a month with a concussion on that one. I'm a very, very physical goalkeeper, so that worked very well in futsal. Although you can't be too physical in futsal because you're on hard wood again. So like there's no slide tackling, right? Which makes it interesting. It's all about finesse. Anyways, it got to the point where my skill level in futsal was well beyond everybody I was playing with. To where as a goalkeeper, I would save the ball, drop it down at my feet, try and give everybody else an opportunity. I'd pass. Like I'd be a team player, but at least once per game, I would have this challenge to nutmeg every player on, it's 5 people per team, so there's 5 players on the other team, to nutmeg all 5 players on the other team, including the goalie. And then score. And I would do that once per game. That was kind of my objective. That was fun. So I would save the ball, drop it down at my feet, and then intentionally run up to and nutmeg every player on the other team. That was definitely a highlight of my soccer / futsal career. And then I got replaced by this young kid because the team wanted to train a younger guy since I was leaving soon, based on age, graduating. His first game in, he stops the ball. It's a pass back. He stops the ball with his feet. Can't pick it up with his hands because it's a pass back. This is outdoor soccer on a turf, mind you. So the ball's not bouncing. It's not doing anything crazy. Just nice, smooth. Stop the ball at his feet. And as he's like thinking and he's about to like step back to then run up and kick the ball to the person he's trying to kick to, I don't know exactly like how this happened, but he didn't lift his foot all the way off the ball. And as he stepped back, he rolled the ball backwards, tripped on it, kicked it with his heel straight into the goal. His first game on after replacing me. So I looked at my coach and I quit on the spot. Like as he was like, okay, this was a bad decision. Max, you're back in. I said, nope. You missed your opportunity to have me. Sorry. Shouldn't have treated me poorly. Other pickup games in Cape Town? Kind of. I've asked around and it seems like most of the pickup scene here is actually decently organized, where I'm sure I can find something more in the city center, maybe, or by the university, where I could just show up and I'm sure I could find a team. But for the most part, what I understand when I've asked people is that it's more organized, where people will come. 5-a-side is quite popular, and people will come with a team of 5 and then play one of the other teams of 5. But it's not so much 20 people are arriving to a place and you split up into different groups and play, which is what I was used to when I was living in the States. That I miss. I would play pickup soccer almost every night when I was living in Ohio. That was one of my favorite things to do, for sure. I would go to the local university, like their reserve pitches, and we would just, maybe like 50 people would arrive, and we would organize. There would be like 10 of them would end up just sitting on the sidelines and not really playing, but they just wanted to be there. And then the other 40 we'd split up into teams of 5, 6, 7, 8, depending on the day. We'd try bigger teams, smaller teams. We'd try and split it up as best we could, and then have 2 or 3 games going on at a time with miniature goals. What are those called? I forget. That was fun. I miss that. I don't have my shoes here or any of my equipment. I also need to buy a new ball when I get back to the States. Unfortunately, that was one of the objects that would not fit in my car when driving back from Arizona. A soccer ball? What was it? A soccer ball, my big desktop PC that I ended up having to throw away / recycle. It was dead anyways. That's why I ended up getting this Mac Mini. But I didn't get to like save it for parts and try and sell the parts or anything. Soccer ball, PC, and potted plants. I wonder how those plants are doing. We left them in the lobby of the apartment building with a note so that the janitor wouldn't just throw them away, and that somebody would pick them up and take them to their home, take care of them. Yeah, soccer ball and plants. It's unfortunate. Things have really slowed down. AMC has been trickling up, not really doing much, rejecting this. It's in this zone, a bit of a supply zone from 24 to 24.50. GME is up 7%, starting from, what was it, down 5.58 or something. It's up 7, so a swing of around 12. Decent upward trending channel. What is that channel doing in beyond? Okay, so we did test this lower channel line perfectly in beyond. Now we're about to get this trend channel breakdown. This might be the last trade of the morning. The morning session. You could see this. It kind of formed another TCC trade with a very small stop and a very small target to the previous high. But the initial one was much better. Anyways, we might get a breakdown here. Those of you who trade the TCC or wedges would be familiar with this form of breakdown. We're looking for this to break out of the wedge. This is actually I'll just reiterate the YouTube video that I'm editing. We're waiting for this to break out of this channel, test it from underneath, and then continue down. And why you want it to test it underneath is the same reason why you want a barbed hook when you're fishing, if you plan on eating the fish. You don't want it to get away. You don't want it to slip out. You don't want the price to just slip through this lower channel line and then continue right back up, leaving you with a wick through the channel, like what we saw earlier. You see that there's a wick over here on this candle. Actually, every single test of this channel line so far has wicked out. 1, 2, 3, 4 wicks. Aside from this one, but this one didn't break at all. Every single previous break was a wick. Now we did get a break, a retest, and it is coming down. So I'm going to go back to these weird purple lines. Let me make them a little bit thinner. And these purple lines are going to resemble, let's see, the entry will be the low of the break, and then it pulled back up here, tested the channel from underneath. You can see this, so it broke out and then came back. It would be nice if it was a green candle, because that would make it very easy for other traders to see, which we might be getting now. So this might be the green candle that we're looking for. It's a little bit of a sloppy one, if I'm being honest. It is rejecting this level again. Okay, let's see what it does. This might be the green candle we're looking for. But if you are okay trading a sloppy version of this, you would be getting stopped out here on a very tight stop. So when you trade that initial test and then the breakdown, your stop will be much tighter. So if you do trade that, you'll have a very tight stop, which is one benefit of that. But you'll get stopped out more often than not. So instead of having, say, a 66% win rate, you might have a 50% win rate, but your reward to risk is much higher. This one actually looks like it's forming a pretty big green candle here. But yeah, then you would set your target at the next, the previous low or the next SR level. In this case, the next SR level would be right around here, which this would have been 1-to-1. You take the trade, get stopped out, that's fine. And then your next target would have been probably here, around 67.50. So that's what that would have been, but it didn't work out. Feels like the market has been open for longer than an hour. That's how choppy it is. Well, it has been longer for open 7 minutes longer than an hour. You've also been watching it for a lot of pre-market. I do find a lot of traders are getting fatigued, trading fatigue, chart fatigue, if you will, on big gap days in the market, because they're watching the pre-market starting at, normally you would watch the pre-market like 15 to 30 minutes before the market opens, but it technically does open up earlier than that. So some people might start watching the pre-market at 8 a.m. Eastern time, and they're watching it for an hour and a half, and then by the time the market opens, they've already essentially watched a full session. So then the hour and a half of the morning session is the second session that they're trading. So they have fatigue, kind of like how the lunch session has fatigue and volume dies out and volatility dies out. You start to see that in the opening session now that the pre-market session is having so much volume and volatility. This is going to come down now. Yeah, it's probably going to hit the target too. It's unfortunate, but it happens. Another factor to this, I'm trying to put myself in the perspective if I was trading this. This initial one, I would definitely pause and think about this 68 level. Like we were talking about earlier, this is a more expensive stock, so respecting 68 whole number is more important here than that $9 stock. It was at 905, whether we were going to respect $9 or not. This one that came down to $8. In Beyond, you do want to respect that. And so that would put your entry at 68 whole number, which it would not have triggered. And so you wouldn't have ended up getting stopped out because you wouldn't have been triggered at 68. And then this move up that came back in the trend would have pretty much canceled the pattern because it set a higher high. So you're not getting a lower high, lower low situation anymore for a downtrend. You're getting you got a lower low, but then a higher high. And so now as we're testing 68 again, you would then reconsider your stop to the previous high, which would be the high of the candle that's breaking down currently at 68.28. And that would be your new stop. And then your target would be the previous low or the previous SR, which was what, 67.50. And this previous low is no longer the previous low anymore. The previous low is up here. So because this previous low isn't much of SR, this kind of tested it here, but there are a lot of candles that broke through it. I think 67.50 is a bigger level. This candle broke through it here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 tests. It's pretty decent. So that would be 1-to-1 at least. If you consider this as SR with the way you personally measure your support and resistance levels, then it would not be 1-to-1 and you would not take the trade. And don't just take it because my support level is at a different place than your support level is, and mine would give you 1-to-1 reward to risk. You want to trade off of what your system does because you can track your system over 100 trades and see if your system returns you a consistent profit with your mentality, your trading personality. Blending my system into your personality isn't necessarily going to work as well as me training my own system with my own personality. As long as you watch pre-market as 10 to 15 minutes, yeah, that's most people, but I've noticed recently people are watching it more. Just overall, traders are watching it more. SPY is breaking under low of day. Just broke. Lower high, lower low. Downtrending now. Decent wedge actually on the breakdown. Let's see if we can get a retest of 63 from underneath to give a breakdown entry on this wedge. That's something I could see whale trading as well. Let's see. So this Beyond stock gave us 3 different setups: the opening breakout, the trend channel continuation, and the trend channel breakdown. And then we also had the OBD in ADGI. So that's 4 trades on the day. How did that Tesla wedge end up doing? Nothing. Ford testing lows, similar chart to SPY. Nvidia upward trending channel. Peloton break even on the day. GRTX is not doing anything. That was that penny stock that we were going to see if it would pump and dump, but it did not. Yeah, that's it. All right. Pretty solid morning. 4 trades, 4 wins. Well, 3 wins, and then this TCC and beyond that we don't know yet, but it's a small trade. So either way, the first 2 trades in this one were much bigger than the third. So if you traded all 3 in the same stock, you'd be profitable at the end. Who all is still in here? Say hello if you're still watching. I'm curious how the view count is counting things, because one view count on the YouTube dashboard says there are 4, and the what is ads? Since when does this video have ads? I think they just added ads. Interesting. Oh no, that's what's happening. My ad blocker is not blocking ads. Ad block is paused. Definitely don't pause ad block. The whole reason I have ad block on is while playing music. You can unpause it when I want people to get money. Junior's still here? Yeah, what was I saying? It says there's 4 people on one side of the dashboard. It says there's 4. On another part of the dashboard, it says there's 0, except for me. Well, now it says there's 1 because you sent a message in chat. And then on my Streamlabs dashboard, it says there's 3. So 4, 3, and 1. I'm getting 3 different answers. So it seems the viewer count on the dashboard is based on who is currently chatting, which is one of you. The current viewers is at 4 right now. I don't know who that is. One of them is me. One of them is Junior. I don't know who the other 2 are. And then I don't know why the view count on Streamlabs is different. Interesting. Well, only Junior responded, so I assume that there's only 1 person actively watching. Alright, let's see what this Beyond trade does, then I'll wrap things up. If it just goes sideways into the lunch session, then that's that. How long has this stream been? Hour 45. Don't forget to like the stream, of course. I think all of you have liked it. I appreciate that. YouTube appreciates it as well. And we have 5 viewers. Oh, hello. Go back to Twitch. I don't know who you are. What's your YouTube name is different. But first of all, who are you? Second of all, why go back to Twitch? What's wrong? What don't you like about YouTube? If everybody asks me to go back to Twitch, I'll do whatever for the viewers. Well, I shouldn't say that. But if it is genuinely a better experience, then I would prioritize that. But so far, YouTube is the better decision. Based on numbers. But based on emotions, I don't know. Logically, YouTube is the better option. Emotionally, maybe Twitch is better. Maybe you're right. But why? Why are you asking me to go back to Twitch? And also, I'll repeat. Who is this? Mr. Hello. I only know one person who has ever had a username with hello in it. And it was a Discord username. And I don't think that person is in the Inlight Discord currently. So it can't be that person. Who else could you be? Who's online on Discord right now? I know somebody who uses all caps in usernames, but that person is not on Discord. I bet you everybody else who's in here could guess who uses all caps. Nana, you want to give it a shot? Guessing who that is? He hasn't been in the stream for a while. He was... When was he in the stream every day? March? March, April, I think? See if you can guess who that is. Other than that, I have no idea. Looks like he's not gonna respond either. I think he just straight up left. You count down to 2. Alright, what's Beyond doing? Stopped out. Alright. Nice and simple. So it's 3 wins, 1 loss. That's a... No, Drips doesn't use... He was in here yesterday, I believe, for a moment. And he has the same username. He doesn't use all caps. No, I'm still here. Just used to watching you there on Twitch. Used to it? Yeah, that makes sense. Change is very difficult. I'm still curious who you are, though. But I appreciate the reasoning. Just used to watching me on Twitch. That makes sense if you're already on Twitch. That's a huge thing of all these streamers who are moving from Twitch to YouTube, is if you are a Twitch viewer and you happened to watch my stream out of the other ones on Twitch, I would lose those viewers, no matter what. But the people like Nano here, who is my viewer, who would go on Twitch to watch me, somebody like that would move over to YouTube when I move over to YouTube. You love YouTube? Yeah. I'm trying to appreciate YouTube Live. As a form of boosting the YouTube channel. We'll see if it works. Because Twitch was a fun ride. I streamed at least 600 hours. It ended up being more than that, but I know it was at least 600 hours on Twitch in a year. I streamed for almost exactly 1 year. It's like October to October. I technically started in like mid-September. It was like mid-September to mid-September roughly. There's those few months where I wasn't streaming much, a couple months ago. But 1 year, 600 hours. We did really well in January, February, March of this year, and then things slowed down and never picked back up because all of the new crowd that discovered stock trading on Twitch started following the 1 or 2 people who just traded GameStop every day and just focused on that every day, and then they became the popular people on Twitch. So much so that they were on the news as when GameStop was doing its thing. The second time around, they were on the news to explain it as the Twitch streamer as the educator, even though it's just some random Twitch streamer. That was interesting. I did not ride that full wave. I caught it and then I fell off of it. So the remaining like 6-7 months was very stale. So switching to YouTube might freshen things up a little bit. But on that note, Beyond is done. Nothing else is happening in the market other than SPY breaking down. And it did actually, hold up. I called this one out, the reciprocal play. So I'm going to draw this in. Not the reciprocal play, excuse me, the breakdown of the low of day. 463 whole number. Let me go back to the normal coloring. $463 whole number. It broke. This would have been the entry. This would have been the stop. Would have been above that. So it broke, and then we wanted to see a retest. This is a break of this wedge. I will draw the upper wedge line here. And then last but not least, a target, 462 whole number. So there's that trade. So that's the final trade of the day. So that is, in total, 5 trades. 4 wins and 1 loss based on the patterns that we regularly watch. Do you think those traders are still around? The streamers or the viewers? Those streamers are definitely still around because they caught that wave. They were able to then ride that. And now those are the people who have 500 or 1,000 views on Twitch right now. Like if you go to Twitch right now and you go to the stocks and bonds category, I'll tell you who. I'm not going to call out their names. Whoa, music. Okay. The number 1 streamer, no. There's actually, Twitch has changed a little bit from what it's showing me. I mean, the one with the most views, he is the GME guy. The one with the second most views literally has GME in his title. Live 1 second charts. GameStop. So yeah, GameStop. 1, 2, 3 penny stocks. Three, GameStop 4. Todd only has 2 viewers, but he's not even trading. He's playing Tarkov or something, it looks like. That's 4. Bitcoin, that's different. Making huge profits with Forex, 0 viewers. Is that something you'd want to watch? That's 4 of the streamers with GameStop in their title. So yeah, I'd say they're still around. Definitely. With the number 1 most viewed currently. He's one of the guys who pretty much started streaming at the same time I did. And I would get up to an average. The highest I had was like 60 viewers concurrently. He's at 400 right now. And he averages like 400 or 500. 600 or 700 at the open. 400 or 500 into the lunch session. Those say average 500 to 600. So he definitely caught that wave better than I did. But that's because he had GameStop and AMC in the title every single day. So it just accumulated. It accumulated and grew. Hey, welcome. Do you prefer to trade stocks or options? I personally prefer to trade stocks. But when I do small account challenges, or when I stopped trading full time and I switched to trading part time or every now and then, and I have much less capital in my account that I actively trade with, when I do actively trade, I will trade with options. For me, the way I would put it all, you have stocks, options, Forex, cryptocurrency, in that order. Stocks are like your stable. It's the most stable in the sense. Stable it's a tricky word, but more the feeling of stability, right? Because stocks have the overall, like all the U.S. markets combined and the exchanges combined and all the liquidity that's going on in the U.S. stock market is lower than Forex, for example, by a multiple greater than 10. So you'd think, oh, this is what a lot of Forex Instagram accounts and whatnot will advertise. They'll say, oh, Forex has whatever $8 trillion dollars in liquidity every day, kind of thing. And they throw that around. That's like $8 trillion are being exchanged in the foreign exchange markets every single day. And they say that gives it stability, that gives it reliability. But all that means is there's a lot of microtransactions between computers happening constantly. It doesn't necessarily mean that there's a lot of stability. It means you're trading against computers. You are trading against some computers in the stock market, but not nearly as much. Human emotions have much more play in stocks, and that can cause some instability. But for me, I understand human emotions pretty well. That's part of my trading personally, is understanding the emotions behind the market. If you do understand that and you unlock that side of trading, then it becomes a stability as opposed to an instability. It gives you a factor of edge over the computers, whereas in Forex, you can't get that edge over the computers because there is no emotion involved. I don't know the percentage, so I would just be lying if I said a number, but a much higher percentage of volume in the Forex markets are algorithms and bots and computers as opposed to humans than it is in the stock market. And then you have options, which takes it a next tier, where you have 100-to-1 leverage in options. One option contract resembles 100 shares of the stock. A 2% move in a stock will result in a much bigger move in the option, depending on volatility and other Greeks. But in general, it's a lot more leverage, much bigger moves. So the risk is inherently a bit greater. The moves can be a little bit more volatile. There's also all those Greeks, which you might not be familiar with. And if you don't know the Greeks, then one of them moving or changing will alter the price in a way that you might not expect. So that adds a little element of instability, but not as much as in Forex, where something can happen and trigger a bunch of algorithms, and that goes against you in an extremely dramatic way. I'm sure you've seen these candles that people will post on Instagram that they made millions of dollars off of, when in reality it's just a photoshopped image. They saw this massive red candle and pretended that they shorted the pair. But so yeah, options step above stocks. They're really good. If I like options for a small account, because options have a T+1 settlement period, meaning from the day you trade your contract, let's say you buy it, you sell it, those funds now have to settle. If you're in a cash account, with a stock, it's T+2, so you have to wait 2 days from the day you sell. So the next day, you don't have that money to trade. With options, you do have that money to trade. And with a small account, you're in a cash account, so you don't have to worry about the PDT rule. The PDT rule is only a margin account. So to get around the small account issue, you will trade options in a cash account. So you get the T+1, you get the leverage. Although you manage it, depending on the size of your account, the small account challenge I'm going to do in January, the 365 challenge, I'm going to trade $365 for 365 days. That is going to have a rule where I can only trade one contract per trade, period. That way it limits how much I'm exposing. And I'm going to also, what I was testing out over the past 2 months, was the size of contract I allow myself to trade. Like, not trading contracts that are more than $1, because then that's over 30% of the account. in one single trade. And if 30% of the account drops by 30%, that's a roughly 10% dip in the overall account, which is too big. So hopefully that answers your question. Do you prefer to trade stocks or options? Because he does open trades live and publicly. He literally shows how much he is up or down. I don't know who you're talking about, but I do the same. When I'm actively trading, of course. That's the point of live streaming. But if you mean the other people who grew, absolutely. But no, I do the same, and I've uploaded them all to YouTube. Not them all. I've uploaded trading days of me trading live onto YouTube, so you can see it after the fact as well. A lot of people trade live and publicly. Alright, SPY is continuing down 1.15% now. Nice move. I'm going to wrap up here. That's it for me. I think I answered all of your questions. Yes, I did. Alright, well, thank you all for watching. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for chatting. Thank you for liking this live stream, helping support growing this YouTube channel a little bit. Like I was saying at the beginning, trying to grow this YouTube channel so that it could be self-sufficient, hire an editor, and let it do its thing so that you all can get your free education while I can work on making better educational content for you all. So that I'm spending my time developing a much better education as opposed to spending all my time clicking back and forth between 3 keyframes in a video edit. All right, I appreciate you all. I'll see you tomorrow.